What if the reason AI isn't working for your MSP has nothing to do with AI? Steve here, an operational strategist at Advanced Global MSP Coaching, a team of Autotask experts. Today, we're talking about something way less flashy than AI tools, but way more important, your intake process. Because before you accelerate chaos with AI, you have to remove the chaos first. And in an Autotask driven MSP, that all starts at the front door, ticket intake. Your intake is messy, inconsistent, or reactive. Everything downstream breaks. Triage becomes guesswork. Scheduling turns reactive. SLAs slip and client communication feels scrambled. And then we blame AI for not fixing it. Here's the reality. AI is an amplifier. If your intake is chaotic, AI will just amplify the chaos faster. If that hits a little too close to home, give this video a like. It helps other Autotask MSP owners see this before they buy another AI tool. So let's zoom out. Most MSPs think intake is simple. A client emails support, Autotask creates a ticket, it lands in a queue, and somebody figures it out. That's not a process. That is controlled panic. In reality, there are 6 communication points that feed your service desk: phone calls, emails, monitoring alerts, verbal drive-bys, in-source tickets, and portal submissions. And with those 6 lanes, there are over 21 possible intake flows. So the first strategic question is not how do we add AI? It's how do we clean our intake lanes right now? So let's walk through them the way an operational strategist would. If your team answers calls and types freeform chaos into Autotask, you do not have structured data. You need call strips. You need defined ownership, service coordinator, tech, or better yet, a technically inclined coordinator. You need mandatory fields completely and consistently. AI cannot fix garbage data. Email intake. This is a high volume monster in our industry. Most AMSPs have one incoming email processor tied to support at, but Autotask allows up to 25 incoming email processors. Why would you use more? Because not every email should follow the same path. Support at may feed triage, but help desk may route directly to a level 1 tech. Monitoring tools should have their own processor entirely. If your RMM alerts and client emails share the same intake pipe, you're bleeding signal and noise. And that's just not scalable. Drop a comment in your support at inbox feels like a junk drawer. I promise you, you're not alone. Let's talk about alerts. RMM and backup alerts can drown a service desk. Not every alert deserves a ticket. Thresholds matter, suppression rules matter, automation rules matter. And when a ticket is created, it should follow a different intake flow than a human request. AI works best when the noise has already been filtered out. So what about verbal drive-bys? Tech is on site, or an account manager asks for a favor. Hey, can you just open a ticket for this? Maybe the tech creates it. Maybe it goes back to triage, but it has to be intentional. Otherwise, you're interrupting billable work and creating inconsistent data. And that in-source service, that just confuses people. In-source is when you create a client-facing ticket for your own operational purposes. Think recurring maintenance, proactive programs, or internal triggers. These need clean, repeatable process flows, especially if you plan to layer AI on top later. And portal submissions? When designed correctly, this is the cleanest intake lane for your MSP, but required drop-downs, defined issue types, and structured routing. No guess. If AI is going to succeed anywhere first, it's here. Now, let's talk about movement. How are tickets moving today? Usually, it's a mix of three things: manual movement, workflow rules, or some other automation. Manual means a human creates and moves the ticket. Workflow rules might move portal tickets to triage. And automation includes email processor, RMM scripting and alerts, recurring tickets, and API calls. And at every single intake step, manual or automated, you should be asking three questions. How well is this intake process working? How can we streamline it or eliminate it? And where could AI genuinely improve it? Notice AI is the third question, not the first. If it was up to me, I would streamline and automate everything possible without AI first. Because once the heavy lifting is done, AI becomes leverage instead of a crutch. Now let's touch on something powerful: the hybrid intake process. This is where MSPs miss a massive client experience improvement opportunity. Managed service client end users should have direct access to help desk or a level one tech by way of a special phone number and a different email address, or even an agent on their desktop. Quick hit issues get resolved fast, there's minimal overhead, and everybody wins. Think Chick-fil-A drive-through efficiency. But now the managed service client liaison, they should contact the service coordinator. Why? Because those requests usually impact multiple users or infrastructure. They often require higher skill sets, and you don't want to disturb engineers working on projects or moves as in changes just for a quick hit type request. The service coordinator becomes that internal champion for the client. Now, for non-managed clients, kind of the same logic, except for they're not paying for expedited service. So don't provide it to them. They should go through the service coordinator. Work is scheduled after managed client end users are handled. This is structure, this is intentional, and this is scalable. And MSP running this model are hitting SLA performance in the high 90% range. That's not theory, that's operational design. Final perspective. AI is not a magic layer you sprinkle on top of chaos. It's an amplifier. If your intake is disciplined, AI amplifies leverage and margin. If your intake is chaotic, AI amplifies stress and confusion. We've seen this with over 51 years of service delivery experience. Fix the intake and everything downstream works better. If you're an Autotask MSP owner and you're serious about preparing your PSA for AI the right way, subscribe to our channel. We're going deeper into the operational foundations before we even talk about the shiny tools. And if you want help moving from chaos to Zen inside your Autotask operations, check us out at agmspcoaching.com. Other than that, have an awesome day.